The last thing I ever expected was to see his face again. Will Andrews, the man I swore I'd never see after our bitter divorce, standing in front of me, his expression cold and determined. "You can't keep this from me, Amelia," he says, his eyes locking onto mine. "I'm the father." The words hit me like a slap, and for a second, I can't breathe. I thought I was free. But now, he's back, and he's claiming the one thing I never wanted him to know about. My pregnancy. I don't want to tell him. I don't want to involve him. But when I see him in my doorway, my resolve cracks. He's not just back for my child, he's here to take control. And somehow, I can't stop him. "You think you can just leave me out of this?" he presses, stepping closer. My heart races, but I force myself to stand tall. "I never asked for this," I snap, pushing my anger to the surface. "You left me. Remember?" He smirks, a bitter laugh escaping his lips. "And I regret it every damn day." His words cut deeper than I expect, but the sting is quickly replaced by the fear of what he'll do next. I want to tell him to leave, but the truth is, I need his help now more than ever. My life has changed in ways I never imagined. The last person I wanted by my side is the one I have no choice but to face. But there's more. There's something he's not telling me. A secret I haven't uncovered yet. And I'm starting to wonder if he's not just here to be a father. What if he wants more than that? "Amelia, don't make this harder than it already is." Will's voice breaks through the tension in the room, cutting deep into the silence that followed his confession. "I'm not leaving. Not again." I swallow hard, trying to steady myself. He's still standing in my doorway, the same man who left me broken and angry, now standing in my life once more. "I didn't ask for this," I snap back, my voice sharper than I intended. My heart is racing, a storm of emotions churning inside. His sudden presence, his cold determination, it all makes my blood boil. "You left me. You don't get to come back now and dictate my life." He takes a step closer, and I instinctively back away. "I regret it. Every day," he says, his voice low, like a confession he's unwilling to say out loud. "I hate the way it makes me feel, weak, vulnerable. I didn't want you to come back into my life, Will. You walked away, remember?" He pauses, a flicker of something unreadable in his eyes. "Maybe. But I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere." The words hit me like a punch. Why does it feel like everything is slipping out of my control? Why does he have this hold on me that I can't break? He notices my discomfort and takes another step forward. "You're carrying my child. Whether you like it or not, this affects both of us." I freeze, my breath catching in my throat. "You really think you can just come in here and claim it's your child?" I say, my hands shaking. "You don't get to make demands." He holds up his hands in mock surrender. "I'm not demanding anything. But you need to understand this, I'm not leaving, not without fighting for my family." His eyes lock on mine, and for a brief moment, the world seems to stop. I want to push him away. I want to scream. But instead, I say nothing, my mind whirling with thoughts I can't silence. And then he says it, "We're not done yet, Amelia. This is just the beginning." Last night's words echoed in my mind as I stared at the floor. "We're not done yet, Amelia. This is just the beginning." His voice was still in my head, relentless, like a shadow following me everywhere I went. Will hadn't left. He was right there, in my life again, and this time, it wasn't just to make amends, it was to claim something I didn't want to give him. My child. I could feel the weight of the secret we shared pressing down on me. I wasn't ready for this, for him. I thought I could handle this on my own, but with Will showing up, everything felt different. Walking to the kitchen, I tried to steady my breathing, but then the knock came at the door. I knew it was him before I even opened it. "We need to talk," he said, as if the words could fix everything. I wanted to slam the door, tell him to leave. But instead, I just stood there, frozen. "Amelia," he said again, his tone softer, as if he knew how badly he'd hurt me. I'm not here to fight. I just want to be a part of this. I can help. I laughed bitterly, the sound hollow in my own ears. Help? I repeated, stepping back. You didn't help when it mattered. You left. Remember? I could feel the anger bubbling up again, the same anger that had kept me going for years, and yet, his presence now twisted it, made it sharper. I can't undo what I did, he said, his voice tight, but I can make it right. I owe you that. I closed my eyes, letting the silence between us stretch. And then, when I looked back at him, I saw it, the determination. The same determination that made me fall for him in the first place. What are you really here for, Will? I whispered. He didn't answer, but his eyes said everything. You think you can just walk in here, take control, and make everything right? I challenged him. I'm not the same person I was before. He stepped forward, his hand brushing against mine, the contact sending an unexpected jolt of electricity through me. Neither am I, he said quietly. The door clicked shut behind him, and I realized that I was already too far in to turn back. Will hasn't left yet. It's been days, and every time I turn around, there he is, watching me, his eyes full of a determination I can't ignore. I'm not giving up on us, he says every time, like it's supposed to mean something. I don't know why it still affects me. It shouldn't. I've built a life without him. You don't get to do this, I tell him. You left. You don't have any claim anymore. But his silence just crushes me. He's not asking for forgiveness, he's asking for a second chance I can't give him. I try to focus on the pregnancy. I can't afford the distraction. But every time he's near, the words he says, the way he looks at me, it all pulls me in like I never left. Today, I find myself in his office. Amelia, Will says, his voice low, this is for the child. He places a stack of documents in front of me. I'm offering you a place in the company. You don't need to struggle. It feels like a trap. I want to refuse. I want to slam the door and walk out. But the weight of the situation presses down on me. I need his help. I can't deny that. But I won't give him the satisfaction of seeing me bend. I don't need your charity, I snap. This is my fight, Will. Not yours. He leans in, close enough for me to feel his breath. It's not charity, he replies, it's my responsibility. My breath catches. It's not what I expected. It's not what I wanted. I'm not your responsibility, I tell him, but the words feel weak, like I'm trying to convince myself. He doesn't back off. Yes, you are. I want to scream. I want to tell him to leave me alone. But instead, all I do is sit there, frozen. I can't escape him. And deep down, I'm scared that I don't want to. Will's presence in my life is suffocating. Every time I think I can breathe, he's there, hovering, as if he has a right to be. Today, he showed up at my apartment uninvited, standing in the doorway like he owned the place. We need to talk, he says, his tone so calm it's unsettling. I want to slam the door, tell him to leave, but the words get stuck in my throat. He doesn't wait for me to invite him in, he steps past me, as if he has every right to be here. I told you I'm not leaving, he says, sitting down without waiting for permission. This is bigger than just you and me. My hands are shaking, but I won't let him see it. I don't want you here, Will. You made your choice when you walked out. His gaze doesn't leave mine. I made mistakes. But I'm not making that mistake again. I don't know how to respond. I want to yell at him, tell him to leave me alone, but the truth is, I'm scared. Scared that I'll fall for his promises again. Scared that the child growing inside me might make me weak. This isn't just about us anymore, he says, his voice soft but insistent. You're carrying my heir, Amelia. We're tied together now. His words hit me like a punch to the gut. I want to argue, to tell him I can handle this on my own, but I can't. Not with him sitting in front of me, not with the weight of his gaze pressing down on me. I turn away, trying to find some kind of strength, but it's not there. I don't know what I want anymore. But I do know one thing, I can't keep pretending that this isn't real. That he isn't here, and that he doesn't have the power to change everything. You think you can just come in here and fix everything? I finally ask, my voice trembling. He doesn't answer right away. He just looks at me, and for a moment, I see something different in his eyes. Regret, yes, but also something deeper. I'm not here to fix everything, Amelia, he says quietly. I'm here to make sure we both don't fall apart. The knock on the door startled me, but I didn't move. I knew who it was. Will. It was always Will, and it had been like this for days now, his presence lingering in the background, like a shadow I couldn't escape. He had promised me space, but the space he gave was barely enough to breathe. I opened the door slowly, expecting the usual calm, controlled look he wore, but today was different. He looked urgent. Amelia, we need to talk about the company, he said, stepping in before I had a chance to answer. The baby's future depends on this. I bristled at his words. My baby wasn't his to control. My life wasn't his to fix. I'm handling it, Will, I said, my voice clipped. He shook his head. You can't handle it alone. I'm not asking. I'm telling you. His words weren't an invitation, they were a demand. I fought the rising anger in my chest. You don't get to make decisions for me, Will, I spat, crossing my arms defensively. His gaze hardened, but there was something else in his eyes, a kind of desperation. I'm here because you can't do this without me. You know that. I clenched my fists, the fight within me threatening to boil over. I've been fine without you. I don't need your charity or your help. It's not charity, he shot back, his tone sharp now. It's responsibility. His words hit harder than I expected, and for a second, I froze. He wasn't wrong. The truth I had been avoiding came crashing down. I needed him. Whether I liked it or not, I needed him. But I refused to let him see that. I don't want your help, Will, I said, more quietly now. Then let me prove to you that I'm not going anywhere, he said, his voice softer, but firm. You're not alone in this. The words lingered in the air, and for a moment, it felt like the world had stopped. He was right, and I hated it. As much as I wanted to push him away, the pull was too strong. But there was something he wasn't telling me, something that still felt like a lie hanging between us. What are you really here for, Will? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. He didn't answer, but his silence spoke volumes. I was starting to fear what it meant. Will's presence is suffocating, but the strange thing is, it's like I'm starting to need him. After the meeting in his office yesterday, I couldn't shake the thought of his words. I'm not going anywhere. He was right, damn it. I couldn't afford to ignore him. Not now. Not with everything going on. I haven't told anyone about the baby yet, not even my closest friends. But I know I can't do this alone. As I sit at my kitchen table, the weight of everything finally hits me. Will was offering me help, but the thought of relying on him, of letting him back into my life, makes my stomach turn. I wish I could just forget about him, but it's impossible. He's everywhere, a constant reminder of what I lost. My phone buzzes, snapping me from my thoughts. It's a text from Will. Meet me at the office. We need to talk about the future. I don't want to. I don't want to face him, but I know I have no choice. I walk into the office building, my heart racing. Will's already there, waiting, looking every bit as imposing as I remember. You came, he says, but it's not a question. It's a statement. Of course I came, I reply, my voice steady even though my nerves are anything but. He looks at me, his gaze softening, and for a moment, I'm caught. Amelia, I know this is hard. I know you're scared, he says, stepping closer. I want to pull away, but I don't. I'm not scared, I say, even though the words feel like a lie. I don't need you. He doesn't flinch, doesn't argue. Instead, he just looks at me, and I feel like he can see right through the walls I've built. You don't have to need me, he says quietly. But I need you. And I'm not going anywhere. The words hit me hard, but before I can respond, the door swings open. A voice I didn't expect to hear. Amelia, I need to talk to you. I freeze. It's the last person I ever thought I'd see here. My ex's lawyer. The moment I see his lawyer, everything inside me freezes. My ex's lawyer standing in front of me is the last thing I expected to happen today. His sharp suit, cold gaze, it's as if I've stepped into a world I thought I had left behind. Amelia, the lawyer says, his tone formal, but there's something in his eyes, something I don't trust. We need to discuss the terms regarding the baby. I swallow hard, forcing my voice steady. There's nothing to discuss. I'm not signing anything. Will steps forward, his presence filling the room. She's not signing anything without my consent. His voice is low, commanding. I can feel the tension rise, the air thickening with the weight of unspoken things. Your consent, the lawyer says, arching an eyebrow. Your involvement complicates matters, Will. Will doesn't flinch. Complicating matters is the least of our worries. I can feel the anger bubbling up, the urge to scream at both of them, but I hold it back. I can't afford to make a scene. What exactly are you asking for? I demand, turning to the lawyer, my voice shaking but firm. He glances between me and Will, as if assessing whether or not I'm serious. We are seeking full custody rights. My client feels he has the right to raise his heir. You can't do this alone, Amelia. My heart stops. Full custody. The words slam into me with the force of a wrecking ball. I look at Will, and for the first time, I see the depth of his determination. He's not just here to fix things between us, he's here to claim what he feels is rightfully his. You don't have a say in this, I say, my voice barely a whisper. But deep down, I know, I'm not in control anymore. Will's here, and he's not backing down. I want to run, to escape the weight of it all, but I know it's too late. And then, the lawyer drops the bombshell. If you don't comply, Amelia, we will be forced to take this to court. The words still echo in my mind. We will be forced to take this to court. The weight of them presses down on me as I sit in the quiet of my living room, the silence now suffocating. Will's lawyer left a few hours ago, but the reality of what he said hasn't fully settled. Full custody. Will's intentions are clearer now, but the fight, the battle over my child, it's something I never imagined would happen. I'm caught between wanting to protect my baby and not letting Will control any more of my life. I can't lose him again. Not like this. My phone buzzes. It's a message from Will, meet me. We need to talk about this. The words twist in my stomach. The last thing I want is to face him. I want to run, to shut him out completely, but I know I can't. Not anymore. He's right. I need him, but I don't want to need him. I drive to his office, the whole way feeling like I'm walking into a storm I can't escape. As I enter, Will stands at the window, his back to me, as if he's waiting for me to make the first move. You came, he says without turning around, but I can hear the tension in his voice. We need to fix this, Amelia. His words cut through the room like a knife. Fix this? I repeat, my voice trembling. You think you can just fix this after everything? You think you can just waltz in and take control? He turns slowly, his face a mask of frustration. I don't want to take control. I want to make sure we both do what's best for the baby. His eyes soften, and for a brief second, I can see the man I once loved. The man who once made me believe in him. I'm not giving up, Amelia, he says, his voice lower now, almost pleading. Not this time. I stand there, my heart pounding. He's not giving up. And neither am I. But I know this fight is just beginning. What he doesn't No is that I'm not going to let him take the easy way out. Not when it comes to my child. Will's persistence is wearing me down, and I can feel myself slipping. His words linger in my mind, I'm not giving up, Amelia. Not this time. How can I ignore him when he's like this? When every step he takes makes it harder for me to push him away. I hate that I still feel something for him. I shouldn't. After everything he did, after everything I've been through, I shouldn't want him to stay. But I do. The guilt is suffocating, the tension unbearable. I told him I didn't need his help, but here I am, still standing in his office, staring at him as he stands there like he owns the place. I can't keep doing this, I say, my voice barely a whisper. You're here. You're not leaving. And I don't know what I'm supposed to feel anymore. Will doesn't move. He just watches me, his expression soft, like he's afraid I'll break if he blinks. I'm not here to break you, he says quietly, taking a step forward. I'm here to fix things. His words stir something inside me, something I don't want to feel, but I can't stop it. The walls I've built around myself are crumbling, piece by piece. I want to push him away. I want to tell him to leave. But I can't. Not when he looks at me like that. You don't get to fix everything, Will, I say, trying to find the strength I know is still buried deep inside. You broke it once. It's not yours to fix. He steps closer, and for a moment, I think he's going to reach for me. Instead, he looks down, his jaw tight. I know I can't fix everything. But I'm not going anywhere. His words are a promise, but I'm not sure if it's one I can believe. I want to say something, anything, but my throat feels tight. Instead, I just stand there, caught between the man I once loved and the reality that I don't know how to let go. I don't need you, I whisper, but it sounds like a lie, even to me. He doesn't answer. But I see the flicker of something in his eyes. A challenge. A promise. And I know, deep down, that this is far from over. Will's presence is like a storm I can't outrun, and I'm standing right in its path. I keep telling myself I don't need him, but the truth is, I do. I need his help, I need him for my child, but I can't admit it to him, or to myself. He's still here, in my life, making decisions I never asked for, but somehow, I can't stop him. Today, we're meeting again, and the tension between us is suffocating. You're really going through with this, I say, standing in the lobby of his office, trying to keep the distance between us. Will doesn't flinch. He doesn't even look bothered. I told you, I'm not leaving, Amelia. This isn't just about you or me anymore. It's about the future. I don't want to hear it. I don't want him to make it sound like he's some kind of savior. He's not. He was the one who left me. You're right. It's about the future, I snap, forcing the bitterness into my words. But I'm the one carrying this child. Not you. His eyes narrow, and there's a flash of something, hurt, maybe regret, but I don't know him anymore. This is my child too, Amelia. You can't just shut me out. His words are sharp, and for a moment, I feel the weight of them. He's right, in some way. But I won't let him have control. I can't. I'm not shutting you out. I'm keeping my distance. There's a difference. Will steps closer, his face just inches from mine. Distance won't protect you, he says, his voice low, almost pleading. I'm not going anywhere. My heart races, but I force myself to stand tall, to stand my ground. I don't need you here, I whisper, the words feeling like a lie even as I say them. But before he can reply, my phone buzzes in my pocket. I glance at the screen. It's a message from my lawyer. Amelia, we need to talk about the custody arrangements. My breath catches in my throat. Will watches me closely, his expression unreadable. I want to tell him to stay out of this, but I know it's already too late. The fight is only beginning. The message on my phone still flashes in my mind. Amelia, we need to talk about the custody arrangements. Asterisk, my breath catches every time I think about it. This is really happening. I didn't want to face Will again, but now I have no choice. The custody battle is here, and I can feel the weight of it pressing down on me. The baby, our baby, what's going to happen? I've never been more terrified of losing control. The next morning, I meet my lawyer at a small cafe. He's calm, as always, but I can see the concern in his eyes. Amelia, this isn't going to be easy. Will has connections, and his lawyer won't stop until they get what they want. I nod, trying to hold it together, but the reality is sinking in. I can't let him take this from me. I can't let him take my child. The words sound hollow, even to my own ears. I know, my lawyer says, leaning forward. But you have to be prepared. Will's not just trying to win this, he's playing a long game. I can feel my heart racing. A long game, what does that mean for me? I don't know, but I'm not going to just sit back and let him take control. As I leave the cafe, my phone buzzes again. It's Will. Asterisk, I want to talk to you. Let's figure this out. Asterisk, I want to throw the phone away. I want to pretend this isn't happening, but I can't. The baby, the future, it's all tied to this fight. When I show up at his office, the tension between us is thicker than ever. Amelia, Will says, standing by the window, his posture stiff. I don't want to fight you. His words are soft, almost pleading, but I can hear the hidden threat beneath them. I'm not backing down, Will. He turns to face me, his expression unreadable. Neither am I. The silence between us hangs heavy, like a storm waiting to break. I don't know what he's really after, but I know one thing for sure, this is just the beginning. The silence between us is suffocating. Will stands across from me, his jaw tight, eyes not leaving mine. I don't want to fight you, Amelia, he repeats, his voice steady but carrying an edge I can't ignore. I'm not backing down, I snap, my pulse racing. His words, his presence, all of it feels like too much, too heavy, too real. I don't want him here, in my life, making demands. I don't want to need him. But I do. I can feel the truth settling inside me, like a weight I can't shake. You think I'm just going to roll over and let you take everything, don't you? I ask, my voice shaking with the anger I can't suppress. Will looks at me, his expression softening just a fraction. No, that's not what I want, he says quietly. But I'm not leaving. Not without the chance to be part of our child's life. The room feels like it's closing in around me. His words, so simple, are like a punch to the gut. The reality hits me hard, he's not just here to talk, he's here to take something I can't afford to lose. You don't get to decide this, Will, I say, the words tasting bitter in my mouth. He takes a step closer, his eyes unwavering. I'm not deciding anything. I'm fighting for what's mine. For what's ours. I can feel my heart racing in my chest, the tension between us thick. Every instinct in me tells me to push him away, to tell him to leave, but my feet are rooted to the floor. I don't need you, Will, I whisper, but even I can hear the lie in my voice. He doesn't answer. Instead, he reaches for me, his touch gentle but firm, like he's trying to steady me. I want to pull away. I want to run. But I'm too afraid to. This isn't over, he says, his voice low and intense. I'm not going anywhere, Amelia. And with those words, the ground beneath me shifts. This fight isn't just about the baby anymore. It's about everything we were, everything we could have been. And I don't know if I can survive it. Will's touch lingers in my mind long after he leaves. His words, I'm not going anywhere, keep repeating like a chant, an echo I can't escape. I know I should be angry. I should push him away, but something in the way he said it, the way he looked at me, keeps me rooted in place. I'm not the same person I was before he left, before the world turned upside down. And now, here he is again, trying to claim what he feels is his. I'm trying to stay strong, trying to remind myself that I don't need him, but it's harder than I thought. The tension. Between us is palpable, like an electric charge I can't ignore. But I can't let him win. I won't. The next day, I meet with my lawyer again, hoping for some semblance of control. He hands me the papers. The custody battle is about to get real. Amelia, we need a strategy, my lawyer says, his voice steady, but I can hear the concern beneath it. Will's lawyer is pushing hard. We can't let him take the upper hand. I nod, my heart racing. We can't let him take the upper hand, the words repeat in my head as I walk out of the office, but I know deep down that Will won't back down. And neither will I. The next day, I find myself in Will's office again, facing the man who's slowly wearing me down. We need to talk about the baby, I say, trying to keep my voice firm, but the moment I say it, I can feel the vulnerability creeping in. He looks at me, his expression unreadable. We're past that, Amelia, he replies. This is about what's best for the child. And I'm willing to fight for it. His words hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm not ready for this fight. But I don't have a choice. I can't let him take control. Not again. Not after everything. The pressure is building, and I can feel myself losing control. Every step I take in this fight feels like I'm sinking deeper, further into a mess I never asked for. Will isn't backing down. He's relentless, determined to be part of my life again, and part of our child's. I don't know how much longer I can keep saying no. The anger I feel toward him mixes with something else, something dangerous, something I don't want to feel. Today, I'm back at the lawyer's office, the papers spread out in front of me. The reality of this battle hits harder with every line I read. We're going to need more than just legal maneuvering, my lawyer says, his voice tense. This fight is bigger than just custody. The words make my stomach churn. What is Will really after? He's trying to take everything, I say, my voice tight, fists clenched. I'm not going to let him. My lawyer nods, but I can tell he's not sure. I know, but you need to be prepared. He's not going to stop until he gets what he wants. I nod, but the thought of Will winning makes my blood run cold. I don't care if he's right or wrong. I'm not losing. I won't. After the meeting, I'm sitting in my car, staring out at the city. The weight of the fight is overwhelming. Suddenly, my phone buzzes. It's a message from Will, meet me. We need to talk. I hesitate, but deep down, I know I can't avoid him forever. He's determined, and part of me respects that, part of me even wants to believe him. But I can't. Not after everything. When I walk into his office, he's already there, waiting. You've been avoiding me, he says, his voice calm, but there's an edge to it. I'm not avoiding you, I reply, trying to sound confident, but my hands shake slightly. I just don't trust you. Will steps closer, his eyes locked onto mine. You can't do this alone. You shouldn't have to. The words hit me harder than I expect. The truth is, I'm scared. Scared of losing the fight. Scared of losing my independence. And scared of the part of me that still wants him. Will's presence fills the room, his energy unmistakable, almost overwhelming. I'm standing in front of him, my heart pounding, my mind in turmoil. Amelia, we need to have this conversation. Now, he says, his voice calm, but there's a quiet urgency behind it. I hesitate, my fingers clenched around the edges of my purse. I don't have anything more to say to you, I snap, trying to maintain control, trying to push him away. But I know deep down, I'm not sure what I want anymore. You're not listening, he says, his tone firm. This isn't about us anymore. This is about what's best for the baby. My stomach tightens at the mention of the baby, the one thing in this entire mess that makes everything more complicated. You don't get to make decisions for me, Will, I protest, the words coming out more desperate than I intended. I'm the one carrying our child. And I'm the father, he replies, his voice low, steady. You're not alone in this, no matter how much you want to be. His words strike me harder than I expected, like a gut punch. I open my mouth to argue, to tell him to leave, to Force him out of my life for good, but the truth is, I can't. I need him. I can't do this alone. Will steps closer, and for a moment, everything else fades away. The space between us, the tension, the unresolved feelings, it all becomes too much. You're not alone, Amelia, he says softly, his gaze intense. I'm here, and I'm not leaving. We'll do this together. I want to pull away, to run, but I don't. The air between us crackles with an energy I can't ignore. You don't get to make promises you can't keep, I whisper, but even as I say it, I know the words are a lie. He's already kept me trapped in this tangled web, and I don't know how to get out. And then, before I can stop myself, the words spill out. I'm scared, Will. His eyes soften, and he reaches out, brushing a strand of hair from my face. I know. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm scared, Will. The words leave my mouth before I can stop them, and the air between us shifts instantly. Will looks at me, his expression softening for the briefest of moments. He doesn't say anything at first. He doesn't need to. I can see it in his eyes, he understands. He's not going to let me fall apart. I know you're scared, he finally says, his voice a low murmur that wraps around me. I'm scared too. But I'm here. And I'm not going anywhere. His words sink deep into me, making my heart race. Why does he have to say things like that? I told myself I wouldn't fall for it again. I told myself I could handle this on my own. But with every word he speaks, the walls around me crumble a little more. You don't get to say that, Will, I reply, trying to sound strong, but the vulnerability in my voice betrays me. You left me once. You don't get to come back and fix everything. His face hardens for a moment, but then it softens again. I can't undo what I did, he says quietly, taking a step closer. But I'm here now. I'm here for you. For the baby. I want to pull away, to push him out of my life for good, but I can't. His presence, the way he's looking at me, it's like I'm trapped. Trapped between the man I loved and the man who broke me. This isn't about us, I whisper, my eyes dropping to the floor. It's about the baby. Will steps even closer, his hand gently touching my arm. Then let's do this together, he says softly. I'm not asking for anything else, Amelia. I just want to make sure we both do what's best for him. His words feel like a promise, but I don't know if I can trust him. Not yet. Not after everything that's happened. I don't know if I can do this, Will, I admit, the fear in my voice raw and unguarded. He doesn't answer. He just pulls me into a hug, and for a moment, I let myself lean into him. I hate myself for it, but I can't help it. Then, just as I start to feel something, my phone rings. The name on the screen freezes me. It's my lawyer. Amelia, we need to talk. There's a new development in your custody case. The call from my lawyer echoes in my ears long after I hang up. There's a new development in your custody case. His voice was calm, but the weight behind his words hits me like a freight train. I can't shake the feeling that something's about to change. And I don't know if I'm ready for it. Will's still here, still pushing, still not giving up. I wanted to believe it was over, that I could take control back, but with every step I take, it feels like he's right behind me. I head to the lawyer's office, my heart pounding in my chest. When I walk in, the tension is thick. My lawyer doesn't waste time. Amelia, he says, his voice grave, Will has filed for joint custody. My stomach drops. I knew it was coming, but hearing the words out loud still shakes me to my core. What does that mean? I ask, my voice shaking. He hesitates for a moment, then answers, it means he's taking this to court. He's not backing down, and neither should you. The words hit harder than I thought they would. My chest tightens, and for a moment, I can't breathe. This isn't just a fight for control, it's a fight for my child. For everything I've fought to protect. I can't lose him, I whisper, my voice barely audible. My lawyer looks at Me, his face softening. I know. But you need to be ready for the fight of your life. I nod, but inside, I'm numb. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for the battle Will is about to drag me into. I can feel the walls closing in, and all I want to do is escape. But there's nowhere to go. I'm trapped. I don't have a choice. I have to fight. And the worst part? I know that Will won't stop until he gets what he wants. And I'm terrified that, in the end, I might lose everything. The pressure is unbearable, each breath heavier than the last. Will's battle for custody is real now, and the looming court case feels like a storm I'm powerless to stop. Every conversation, every glance, only reinforces the truth: I'm not in control anymore. My lawyer's words echo in my head: you need to be prepared for the fight of your life. It's a fight I don't want, but one I can't back out of. I'm standing in my apartment, staring at the papers in my hand. The custody papers. I've read them 100 times, and yet they still don't make sense. How did it come to this? Why does Will insist on fighting for what's already mine? I don't want him near me. I don't want him near my child. But the truth is, I don't know if I can win this on my own. My hands tremble as I dial Will's number. The phone rings twice before he picks up. Amelia, he answers, his voice surprisingly gentle. We need to talk. I don't have the strength to argue. Fine, I say, trying to hide the weakness in my voice. When? Now, he replies, and there's no room for hesitation in his tone. I feel like I'm walking into a trap, but I don't have a choice. When I arrive at his office, he's already there, sitting at his desk, looking far too calm. I'm not doing this because I want to hurt you, he says, his gaze never leaving mine. I'm doing this because I want to be there for our child. I don't know whether to scream or cry. You don't get to play the hero now, Will, I snap, my words sharper than I intend. You left me. You don't get to come back and decide what's best for us. He doesn't flinch. I'm not trying to decide for you. But I won't back down. His words are final, and for a moment, I wonder if this is a fight I'm doomed to lose. Will's words from earlier echo in my mind as I stand in front of him, trying to keep my composure. I'm not backing down, he said, and now here we are, staring each other down, both determined, both ready to fight. But this is different. I can feel the stakes rising, the tension thick in the air. The fight for custody is no longer just about winning. It's about survival. I take a deep breath, trying to calm the nerves gnawing at me. This isn't just about you, Will, I say, my voice a little steadier than I feel. This is about what's best for the baby. I see his expression shift, his jaw tightening. I'm not just doing this for me, he replies, his voice softer, but with an undeniable conviction. I'm doing this because I want to be part of our child's life. I'm not letting you push me away again. The words hit me harder than I expect. I want to argue. I want to tell him he's the last person who should be in my life, but the truth is, I'm scared. I'm scared of being alone in this. Scared of losing control. And a part of me, no matter how much I try to deny it, still wants him. You don't get to decide this, Will, I say, my voice shaking despite myself. You don't get to come in here, after everything, and take what's mine. He steps closer, his gaze intense. I'm not here to take anything from you, Amelia. I'm here to fight for what's ours. I feel the walls I've built start to crack, and for a moment, I almost let myself believe him. Almost. We'll see about that, I whisper. The uncertainty in my voice is clear even to me, but I won't back down. Not now. Not when it feels like everything I've fought for is slipping through my fingers. I turn away from him, but his next words stop me cold. I'm not leaving, Amelia. And I'm not letting you do this alone. The tension in the room is palpable. Will's words still ring in my ears, I'm not leaving, Amelia. And I'm not letting you do this alone. I want to push him away, to tell him to get out and stop trying to fix everything, but something in me won't let go. I don't want him here, but part of me is scared of being alone. The baby, the future, everything feels like it's slipping through my fingers. I take a deep breath and turn to face him, the weight of the fight ahead bearing down on me. You don't get to make decisions for me, Will, I say, trying to hold on to the anger that has been keeping me upright. He doesn't flinch. His gaze is steady, unyielding. I'm not trying to control you, Amelia, he says, his voice low, almost gentle. I'm trying to help. You're not in this alone. You never should have been. The words hit harder than I expect, and for a split second, I let my guard down. I almost believe him. But then reality crashes back. I didn't ask for your help, I say, shaking my head, trying to push away the small part of me that wants to believe in him. I didn't need you back then, and I don't need you now. The silence that follows feels heavy, but Will doesn't back down. He steps closer, and I find myself holding my breath. Maybe you don't need me, he says quietly, but you'll need someone. And I'm not going anywhere. The words hit me like a wave, but I can't let myself be swept away. Not again. I can't let him win. You think this is easy for me? I demand, voice shaking with the emotion I can't keep inside. You think I want you here, in my life, after everything? His face softens, but his resolve doesn't waver. I'm here, Amelia. And I'm not going anywhere. He reaches out, his hand brushing mine, and for a moment, I forget everything. But the moment fades quickly. I pull away. This isn't over, I whisper. He nods, understanding. No, it's just beginning. The weight of Will's words still hangs in the air, heavy and unrelenting. I'm not going anywhere. I can't shake the feeling that something inside me is shifting, something I can't control. I try to push it down, bury it, but it keeps resurfacing. The fear, the doubt. It's all there. I don't know if I can do this. The custody fight. Will. My life, it feels like it's slipping through my fingers, and no matter how hard I try to hold on, it keeps slipping away. I'm sitting in my car, parked outside his office, staring at the message from my lawyer. There's been a development in the case. You need to come in. My stomach turns as I read the words again. What now? I don't have the strength to face whatever new twist is coming my way, but I don't have a choice. I open the door and walk inside. My lawyer is already sitting at his desk, a grim look on his face. Amelia, he starts, his voice heavy with the weight of the news. We need to prepare for the next step. Will's lawyer has filed for a temporary custody arrangement. He wants the baby. My heart stops. What? I whisper, barely able to breathe. He's pushing for this, my lawyer continues. He's not just asking for joint custody anymore. He wants control. We need to be ready. My chest tightens, and for a moment, everything goes numb. Will is fighting harder than I thought. This isn't just a custody case anymore. It's a war, and I'm terrified of losing. I won't let him take my baby, I say, my voice hoarse but determined. My lawyer nods, but his expression doesn't soften. It's going to be a battle, Amelia. One you can't fight alone. I look out the window, the weight of everything pressing down on me. I feel like I'm drowning. And then, as if on cue, my phone buzzes in my hand. It's from Will, I'm coming over. We need to talk. My heart races. I don't know if I'm ready for whatever this is. But deep down, I know I'm not in control anymore. He's here to stay. And I don't know how to fight it. The moment I see the text from Will, my heart drops into my stomach. I'm coming over. We need to talk. I should ignore it, I know I should, but instead, my fingers hover over the screen as if I have no control over my own actions. It's like he's the gravity pulling me back in. I take a deep breath and remind myself, this isn't about him and me anymore. It's about the baby. My baby. I don't want him involved. I don't want him to have any claim. But the truth keeps pushing at me, he's not going away. My phone buzzes again. It's Will. Asterisk, I'm downstairs. Asterisk, I feel a wave of panic wash over me. I can't back out now. I open the door before he has a chance to knock. He's standing there, looking at me like he's seen through every wall I've put up. Amelia, he starts, but I can already hear the determination in his voice. We need to figure this out. We can't keep doing this. I cross my arms, trying to maintain some distance. I told you already, Will. This isn't your fight. His jaw tightens, but his eyes soften. It's my fight too, and you know it. I feel a knot in my stomach. I hate how calm he is, how he's just standing there, so damn sure of himself. You don't get to make decisions for me, I say, my voice shaking. You don't get to decide what's best for our child. Will takes a step forward, not threatening, just there, his presence overwhelming. I'm not deciding. I'm fighting for what's right. His words send a shiver down my spine. The tension between us is thick, and for a moment, I'm paralyzed by the intensity of it. I want to scream, to tell him to leave, but the words won't come. I stand there, frozen, caught between my fear of losing the fight and the need to protect my child. Will's not going to give up. And I'm terrified that I'm not strong enough to win this battle on my own. The moment I wake up, my phone is already buzzing. I know who it is before I even look at the screen. Will. My heart skips a beat as I see his name, but I force myself to ignore it. I can't keep doing this, going back and forth with him. He's relentless, and it's breaking me down. But then the phone buzzes again, and this time, it's a message from my lawyer. Asterisk, Amelia, we have an urgent update. Call me as soon as possible. Asterisk, I swallow hard. The reality of everything is starting to crush me, and I can't avoid it any longer. I dial his number quickly, trying to calm my racing thoughts. Amelia, my lawyer answers, his voice serious. Will's lawyer is pushing for an emergency hearing. They want the court to intervene immediately. I freeze. My mind goes blank. Emergency hearing, this is happening faster than I thought. What does that mean? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. It means we need to act fast, he replies. You're going to have to face him in court sooner than expected. I hang up, the weight of his words settling deep in my chest. The thought of going to court, of facing Will, it's more than I can handle right now. But I have no choice. I'm not going to let him take everything from me. The moment I arrive at the courthouse, I see him. Will, standing tall in a suit, looking every bit the part of a man in control. But the look in his eyes is different today. There's something else there, desperation, maybe. He notices me, and for a split second, our eyes lock. The tension between us thickens, like a storm about to break. He walks toward me, and I can feel my pulse racing. Amelia, he says quietly, his voice barely above a whisper. I didn't want it to come to this. I shake my head, trying to find the strength to stand my ground. Then why did you fight me? Why didn't you listen? His expression hardens, and for a moment, I see the man who broke me. But then it's gone, replaced with the resolve that's been driving him all along. Because I can't lose you. Not again. The courtroom feels colder than I imagined. The air is thick with tension as I sit across from Will, our lawyers between us, ready to battle for what seems like everything. My heart pounds in my chest, and I can't focus on anything other than the man sitting there, so confident, so sure of himself. Why can't I do that? Why can't I just stand tall, act like this is something I can control? Because deep down, I know I'm losing. Losing the battle for control, losing the ability to protect my child from the chaos that's about to unfold. My lawyer speaks to me, but his words sound distant, muffled by the growing anxiety in my mind. We need to stay strong, Amelia. You can't let him intimidate you, he says. I nod, even though I'm not sure I can do what he's asking. I'm already scared, already uncertain. The sound of the gavel strikes, and the room goes silent. The judge begins speaking, but my focus drifts to Will. His eyes meet mine across the room. They're filled with something I can't name, determination, but also something else. What is he thinking? The trial drags on, and every word, every argument, feels like a punch. I want to fight back, I want to scream, but all I can do is sit there, helpless. Finally, the judge calls a recess, and the room empties out. I stand up, my legs weak beneath me. Will is waiting for me outside the courtroom, and I can feel the pressure building. Amelia, he says, his voice low, this isn't over. You know I'll keep fighting. I don't want to keep fighting, Will, I snap, my voice trembling despite my best efforts. He steps closer, his eyes never leaving mine. Then stop trying to do this alone, he says quietly, his tone surprisingly gentle. Let me help you. His words hang in the air between us, and I feel the walls I've built around myself starting to crumble. I can't let him in, I think. I can't let him win, but with every passing moment, the line between friend and enemy becomes harder to define. And as I walk away from him, I know something has shifted. I don't know what it means yet, but I know this fight is far from over. The day of the hearing arrives, and the weight of it presses down on me like a 100-ton boulder. I can feel every step, every breath, heavier than the last. I know I have to fight, I've known it from the moment this started, but now, standing here in front of the courthouse, the reality of it all makes my heart race with fear. The papers, the lies, the truth, it's all tangled together, and I'm not sure where I stand anymore. I walk through the doors, my lawyer by my side, and the atmosphere is thick with tension. Will's lawyer is already there, talking to him. Will. The man I can't seem to get rid of, the man who's fighting for my child as if he has a right to it. As I approach, I catch Will's eye. He's staring at me, his jaw set, his posture tense. For a moment, I feel the pull, stronger than before. I take a deep breath, reminding myself that this isn't about us. This is about my baby. Amelia. He says quietly as I approach, his voice barely audible. We don't have to do this. We can figure this out together. His words hit me harder than I expected. I don't know if it's his calm demeanor or the desperation in his eyes, but something shifts inside me. I'm not doing this for you, Will, I snap, forcing myself to push the emotions down. I'm doing this for my child. For what's best for him. He takes a step closer, his eyes never leaving mine. I'm trying to be there for him, Amelia. And for you. You're not in this alone. I can't stand it. His words, his promises, they hit too close to the heart. I want to scream, to tell him to leave me alone, but I don't. I can't. We'll see about that, I whisper, my voice shaking with emotion. I turn away, walking towards the courtroom, but I can feel his eyes following me. The weight of the fight ahead feels heavier than ever, and I know, I'm not just fighting for my child. I'm fighting for everything I thought I'd lost. And I'm scared of what might happen if I lose. The courtroom feels suffocating today, the air thick with anticipation. Will's lawyer has just finished speaking, and now it's my turn. I feel every eye on me, waiting, judging. I want to run. I want to disappear, but I can't. I won't. This is my chance. This is the moment that will define everything. As I stand there, I remind myself why I'm doing this. It's not for me. It's for my child. The baby I will fight to protect, no matter what. My lawyer gives me a reassuring glance before I begin. Your Honor, I say, my voice shaking slightly, but strong, I am not here to fight Will out of spite. I'm here because I have to protect what's mine. And what's mine is my child. No one gets to take him away from me. I pause, feeling the weight of my words settle over the room. Will is sitting across from me, his jaw clenched, his eyes intense. For a moment, our gazes lock, and I see something there. Regret? Fear? I don't know. I don't care. He can't take this from me. I have done everything I can to build a life for my child, I continue, trying to steady my breathing, and I won't let anyone tear it down. The words come out easier now, stronger. This is my truth, and I will not back down. The judge is listening, but I don't look at him. I can feel Will's eyes on me, and it makes everything feel sharper. But I can't let him intimidate me. I'm not asking for anything special, I say, my voice more confident now. I'm just asking for the chance to be the mother my child deserves. Will stands up, his voice cutting through the silence. Amelia, this isn't just about you anymore. It's about what's best for him. His words make my chest tighten, but I won't let him win. What's best for him is me, I whisper, barely audible, but loud enough for him to hear. His gaze softens, but it doesn't change anything. This fight is far from over. The judge calls a brief recess, and the weight of the silence settles around us. I turn away, but I know one thing for sure, we're not done yet. The weight of the fight is heavier than I ever imagined. Each passing day, the pressure mounts, and today feels like the breaking point. The courtroom battle is looming, and my lawyer's words still echo in my mind, you can't do this alone. But I'm terrified of relying on anyone, especially Will. The truth is, part of me still wants to believe he can be the person he says he is, but I can't let myself go there. I've been burned too many times before. As I sit in the small cafe, waiting for my lawyer to arrive, I feel the panic bubbling up. The legal papers are spread out in front of me, each line a reminder of the war I'm about to enter. My thoughts race, every possible outcome running through my mind. What if I lose? What if Will gets what he wants? The thought makes my stomach churn. The door swings open, and my lawyer steps in, his expression serious. Amelia, he begins, sitting down across from me. Will's lawyer is pushing harder. They're looking for a quick resolution. I feel the tension in my chest tighten even more. What does that mean? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. It means we need to be prepared for a fight, he says, looking at me with concern. He's not going to stop. Neither should you. I take a shaky breath, trying to steady myself. I can't afford to back down. I can't afford to lose. Just as I'm about to speak, my phone buzzes. It's a message from Will. Asterisk, I'm outside. We need to talk. Asterisk, my heart stops for a moment. I know what this is, another confrontation, another attempt to push me into a corner. But I have no choice. I stand up, gripping the papers tightly in my hand. I have to face him. I don't know if I'm strong enough, but I'm going to fight with everything I have. I open the door to find Will standing there, waiting. He looks at me, and there's something in his eyes, determination, maybe even regret. We can still fix this, Amelia, he says, his voice low. But as he says it, I feel the walls closing in. I know this fight is far from over, and I'm not sure how much longer I can hold on. Will stands in front of me, his presence still as imposing as ever, and yet, there's something different today. His eyes are filled with something I can't quite decipher, an emotion I haven't seen before. Regret? Hope? It doesn't matter. I can't let him in. Amelia, he says, his voice softer than usual, I'm not here to make this harder for you. The words don't reach me the way they once did. I used to believe in them, but now I feel nothing but the weight of my own heart, heavy with the fear of losing everything. You've already made this harder, I reply, my voice barely above a whisper, my hands trembling at my sides. You left once. And now you want to come back and fix everything? He shakes his head, a small frown tugging at his lips. I don't want to fix everything, Amelia. I just want to be part of our child's life. His words hit harder than I expected. A part of me wants to let him in, to let him be the father he claims to be, but I can't. I can't trust him again. Not after everything. You don't get to decide what's best for my child, I say, my voice firmer now, pushing back the feelings that are threatening to overwhelm me. Will doesn't back down. He steps closer, his gaze unwavering. I'm not deciding anything, he says. Quietly, but there's steel in his voice. I'm fighting for what's right, for both of you. My heart lurches. I don't want to hear him say it, but I can't stop myself from feeling the truth in his words. He's not backing down, and neither am I. The tension between us is thick, suffocating. But before I can speak again, my phone buzzes in my pocket. I look down, and my heart skips a beat. It's a message from my lawyer, we need to meet. There's something urgent. I swallow hard, the fear creeping up again. What now? What's next in this fight I can't seem to escape? I look at Will one last time before walking away, knowing deep down that this battle is far from over. The trial is over. The decision has been made. I sit in the courtroom, the echo of the judge's words still ringing in my ears, and it's hard to believe it's really over. Custody is granted to the mother, with joint legal custody for the father. My heart skips a beat. I got what I wanted, what I needed. But at what cost? I look over at Will. He's sitting across the room, his expression unreadable. I thought I would feel victorious, relieved, but all I feel is exhaustion. The battle has taken everything from me, my peace, my strength, and yet, it's still not over. I've won, but I'm not sure how to walk away from this, not sure how to move forward. Will looks up at me, his eyes softening as our gazes meet. For a moment, it feels like the entire room disappears, and it's just the two of us, the weight of everything between us. He stands slowly and walks toward me, and despite everything, despite all the hurt and anger, I don't move. I can't. You did it, he says, his voice a mix of admiration and sadness. You fought for him. I had to, I reply, my voice tight. I had no choice. Will nods, looking down at his feet for a moment. When he looks up again, there's a flicker of something in his eyes, something I don't know how to read. I'll be here, he says quietly. For him. For both of you. The words catch me off guard. For a second, I almost want to believe him. But then reality crashes back. I don't know if I can trust him again, but I'm willing to try. We'll see, I whisper, the words uncertain, but not entirely closed off. The future isn't clear, but maybe, just maybe, we can find a way forward. I take a deep breath and leave the courtroom, feeling lighter, but not free. There's still so much ahead, but for the first time, I feel like I can breathe. And that, for now, is enough.